Namaste guys, Ashish here for Namaste Tech, and we've got OnePlus 5G with us, which was recently launched. And if you're one of those bars, you should know that there are a lot of things that you can do to improve using your phone on a daily basis. So we're going to tell you the tips and tricks of OnePlus 5T. The first thing you should know is about this button here. It's a DND button, that's what I like to call it, which allows you to toggle between a full ring to do not disturb mode or to vibration mode. So when you press this button here, let's say in the middle, what you see here is a do not disturb. It works on the lock screen, and when you put it on the top, you get into silent and vibration mode. Pretty useful if you want to get into a do not disturb mode in your meeting and you went into the meeting and you really don't have to unlock your phone and do all this time. And best part is, even if you try to do, it doesn't work. You really need to have to use this button. So if you're not used to it, you should get used to it because the slider doesn't work from there. So that's the first thing you should know. Moving on to our second tip is about the home screen. So when you swipe down, you can draw the notification panel. When you swipe up, you open the home drawer and you can search apps. Next is when you long press here, you get a couple of settings. And the first thing I'll tell you is if you want to erase the icons on each of your screens here, you can press this button and it brings down or takes it back. And if you have a lot of space here, you want to align them, just press on this and it does this job. Very useful feature. Again, go to settings and you have an option called a shelf. Shelf is basically when you swipe here, you get to see a couple of things here. So that's called a shelf. Then you have got swipe down, which I showed you. App shortcuts, pretty useful, works for some of the apps. For example, if I long press on the Twitter app, you get the following things. So you get search, new tweet, new message. So if I tap on this, I directly come over here. So works with some of the apps. Then you've got icon pack. So you can choose from the available icon pack or go to the OnePlus store and probably download some of the icon packs from here. Then you have got home screen layout. So you can customize between grids, or you can choose the icon size to be pretty big or pretty small, whatever you feel like. Now rest of the things are in the settings. So swipe it down, go to settings, and you should notice that whenever you are in do not disturb mode or vibration mode, you get an icon here which tells you where you are. Kind of useful. Now you go to your Wi-Fi. Now the Wi-Fi, if you go to settings, you have a couple of things like smart Wi-Fi switcher. It was turned off for me, so you can connect between Wi-Fi and mobile, whichever is working. Scanning always available. You can look for a network notification and also turn this on. Keep this Wi-Fi always on if you have a Wi-Fi network. So in case your mobile data is about to finish, it won't charge you at night. Now let's go to the button section. Here you can change your button alignment and layout. So you can swipe it. You can even hide it. So by default it's hidden. There you go. But if you swipe up, this will show up again depending how you want to use it. Then you've got a long press action for home button. What do you want to do? Double tap action, long press, double tap again for the recent button, back button. All of this can be customized here. Then you've got gestures, fingerprint gestures, system gestures, screen off gesture, whatever you want to do. I think you should be using it because especially the fingerprint, if you aren't using the OnePlus launcher, let's say if I use the Microsoft launcher here and I use the swipe down to find my apps, that's my priority. But I can always turn this swipe fingerprint for notifications. So if I turn this on and I swipe on my fingerprint, it pulls down the notification. Pretty handy. Then long press to take a photo, flip to mute, 3-finger screenshot. Double tap to wake up is pretty impressive, I would say. If I turn this on, lock my phone, and it turns on the screen. So yep, useful. A lot of you like to change your font on your phone. So you have a direct option here and you can choose from a couple of fonts which is available here. So you can choose between Roboto changing the font, or OnePlus 8. That's the only option available right now. Next, let us go to display, and it has some interesting stuff. You have got night mode and reading mode. Now you have seen night mode in most of the phones. What is reading mode? I'll tell you about it. First, let's go to night mode, and it's the usual stuff. So you can turn on and the screen, becomes lit yellowish, and it makes it easier to read. Now you don't want to use night mode, but you only want to use night mode with some particular app. So you use the reading mode where you can add apps for your reading mode. Let's say, for example, if you're using Alexa app in reading mode and you just turn it on, and when we launch, you can see what happened here. So I'm going to just turn it off. So now Amazon Alexa is my reading mode app. I'm going to launch it, and you can see there's a difference in color. There's no color actually for this particular app here. So that's pretty impressive. If I want only particular apps to be in reading mode, that is useful. Let's go back. You've got screen calibration. Again, type of tone you want for your phone, you can have it here. I'll leave it to default, but if you have a choice, go ahead. Now this got a pulse notification light. If you're in love with LED, you love LED for a lot of things. Like I use LED for getting notification from particular contact. You can do that. So you can have LED notification for per app. So you can go here and configure which app can only send me LED notification and so which cannot. Now let's move on to security and lock screen. Face unlock is something you should be using pretty fast. It's not something very secure, but it's pretty fast. If the phone stays in your hand, you can just look at your phone and it unlocks. You can always have screen lock and smart lock, things like that. Now there's something called as, now let's go to apps, and here you can see you have something called as full screen app. It runs the apps by default in full screen, but if you think they're causing problem, they're not really what they should be, you can tap on any of them and change to 16:9 ratio, which will help. That said, the last thing will be in the advanced section where you have got OTG storage. So when you connect a USB drive, you need to enable this one. And then you have something impressive, gaming do not disturb. When you tap on this, you can select apps which are games, and when you play them, the calls don't disturb you or any messages don't disturb you. But if you're connected to a speaker, you can answer through your speaker, but you should have a speaker which has a mic. So it will block notifications and do your job very well. You also have Bluetooth audio codec, so depending on kind of earphone you use, you can try using them and see what works with your speaker. So guys, that was all about OnePlus 5T tips and tricks. If you're using this phone, you should know all this and start using it. Thanks for watching the video. If you did like the video, do hit the like button, subscribe to our channel for OnePlus 5T videos.